Hello and welcome to the channel. And for today's video, we are having a look at this custom McFarlane Batman. No, I'm sorry. Detective Comics 1000 variant blue and gray Batman. Um, there's not much to this custom other than I added the cloth cape and head swap. So essentially what I was going for with this figure is a version of the as of this date, as of this video, McFarlane a couple of weeks ago announced the release of his year two Batman. It has a cloth cape that is huge. It's a flowing plastic cape, but it also has a swappable cloth cape and all of that. And it's a new sculpt as opposed to reusing this old one. So basically, what I was attempting with this figure is trying to get that look. Um, so this custom, I made this a few months ago, even before the announcement of the year two figure. Um, I actually since this figure came out, around the start of when McFarlane picked up the license from DC to make the Multiverse figures. Once he released the Batman, the first thing that I said to McFarlane in the comments was, "When are you gonna make a year two? When are you gonna make a year two Batman?" And it's finally here. Sadly, due to COVID and the borders to the U.S. are closed, so normal tourists can't cross over and buy stuff. I don't know if this figure may be available internationally by other means. I'm speaking of the year two, of course, the year two figure, because it's a Target exclusive for right now. So yeah, that figure that I always wanted is within reach, but I can't get it. And right now it's only sold. It was only sold via pre-sales. So apparently it's all sold out. But a couple of days ago, I saw that McFarlane said that more figures are gonna be available, and of course it's gonna still be in stores. So anyway, so my this was my attempt at an early year two version of Batman. Some of the things that I did on this figure, and since I'm recording this back to back with my previous video showcasing the custom blue and gray McFarlane, not blue and gray, black and gray McFarlane Batman, there's something that I forgot to mention on that guy, and I have the figure right next to me, so I'm just gonna show you something real quick. Which is part of the customization process that I did on the figure that I didn't mention in that video. I did end up having to do a customization on the rib cage here. This is not the standard how the figure comes standard. Basically, it had an extra bit of plastic going, mimicking that upper abdominal muscles, right? So this was actually lower and would hamper some of the posability on the figure. So I ended up cutting that off, as well as on this guy, although the cuts are a little different. So let's just jump into this custom figure. So again, obviously, one of the first things you'll notice is the cape. The cape on this guy is actually longer and then on the black and gray version, because like I said, I wanted to imitate the year two Batman and That's when McFarlane really started to go crazy with the capes on his figures. So the way that this wraps up around on this guy kind of looks like this, right? And it bunches up at the bottom. Let me just lower the camera here. You can see how it bunches up at the bottom, right? Let me just turn it around. And you can see, right? I actually have a different figure on a different custom that I made where the cape is even longer than this, and I'll show that in the future. Yeah, this is pretty much a as close as I could have gotten to a that year. Did I keep saying year two? I meant to say year one. I meant to say year two. Year two Batman. So anyway, as you can see, I only swapped out and gave him a cloth cape, as opposed to this version where I also gave him like the cloth neck piece. Because I mentioned in that video, on this version, I only used, I kept the plastic on the for the neck piece, right? And you can see it's still a little floaty. I mean, I did what I could to reduce the thickness of the plastic so I can heat it up and mold it a little bit closer to the body. But it's still, it still finds its way to lift itself up. But for the most part, I could maybe just even trim it just to avoid all of that, right? But for now, that's the way I'm keeping it. I could also go the extra mile and give this like a wired cape. I haven't experimented with cloth capes yet. I'm sorry, not wired cloth capes. I haven't. I would need to do some testing just to see the process of doing it right before applying it on a figure. So I may do that, in the future. But for right now, all of the capes that I'm doing are just your basic cloth, no wires. So then on this guy, there is no repaint. Basically, the only repaint that I had to do was on the head sculpt. Actually, no, I didn't repaint the head sculpt because the color matching the head comes from the DC Essentials Nightfall Batman. So it's just a clean one-to-one swap, and the color matching is pretty close, so that's why I didn't do anything in that regards to the head. And I just and yeah, that's about it. I mean, this is a really simple custom. Just cut away at the plastic here. The head sculpt is a perfect match for the McFarlane figure. It's again, I'm using the original neck piece from the figure, so that's why it sticks there pretty good. And yeah, nothing too much here to add, other than I did cut off again the rib parts here to give them added posability. Right, you can still add even more by manipulating on the where the dumbbell joints are on the inside, by making grooves so that even you can bend even more. But I've got pretty good flexibility just by making this the cut here on the abdominal area. And yeah, it's the material that I found, the color was a pretty good match. I mean, it is different, obviously, but overall, from a distance, you can't really tell that it's that different of a color. You could pretty much blame it on sunlight, and and say, no, it's a perfect match. So yeah, there's nothing much to it to make this custom. If you're not happy with the original head sculpts that came on those original Batmans that McFarlane released, like I used on this guy, again, you can swap out the new 52 from DC Direct, right, for this guy, or the Essentials Nightfall Batman, or the whatever was the the mold that they used for that Essentials Nightfall. It was a different version. I don't remember what it was called. Is it the Rebirth Batman? I believe. So you can also use that head sculpt on the McFarlane toys, um, and it will be a pretty good fit on it. So yeah, so this is gonna be a pretty quick video because again, there's nothing much to it on this guy. I just chopped off the plastic cape, put in a new head, and did some trimming on the abdominal area, and that's about it. Um, yeah, so pretty simple. Um, Nothing too involved like the other one. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.